Live, local, late breaking. This is 44 News. We begin tonight with a breaking news alert.
Breaking news tonight, just within the hour, President Donald Trump has signed the funding bill ending the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. Now, the shutdown began back on October 1st. Government operations remained shuttered since because senators could not come to an agreement that included an extension of enhanced tax credits that reduced the cost of Affordable Care Act health insurance plans for 20 million Americans. Now, under the Senate deal, lawmakers agreed to vote in December on a bill of their choice to extend those boosted subsidies, which are due to expire at the end of that month. Well, new at this hour tonight, Newburgh residents got the chance to speak their minds and ask questions regarding the new sewage hike. The increase would be about $7 increase per month over the next 3 years. The increase would pay for a 4 million gallon equalization overflow tank that would take the pressure off the existing water system. This is seen as a maintenance and future need as the population grows.
The $7 a month that you're going to pay more will be invested in this system and will hopefully lessen future rate increases because of the way we're designing this tank to take pressure off the system, not just for tomorrow, but for down the road.
The new sewage tank would evolve over the years to come by adding screens and more like a preventative measure to ensure that sewage would not back up into homes. CenterPoint Energy will have another event for its Community Connect series. The utility company says these events are part of their commitment to listen to local feedback, address customers' priorities, and discuss local energy improvements. There will be another meeting tomorrow from 4 till 7 at night at the C.K. Newsom Center here in Evansville. Well, as families are seeking food options during SNAP benefit uncertainty, Ascension St. Vincent here in Evansville is finding some new ways to feed people through their partnership with Seton Harvest. Now, Seton Harvest is a farm that donates 80% of their crops to help fight food insecurity in the Evansville area. And with winter approaching here, officials say they're finding new ways to grow crops year-round through hydroponics.
We've donated some to mobile distribution units. For a lot of our donations, they are taken into town to different food pantries, shelters, some of the kitchens.
Officials say turning to hydroponics will help them provide produce to those in need, converting high tunnels to grow food no matter the season. Well, turning to weather now, a cool night across the tri-state tonight, but we will continue to see those very pleasant temperatures during the daytime hours throughout this week. Meteorologist Carl Parker is tracking how nice it'll be the rest of the week.
Hi, Ben. We had an unbelievable show of the Northern Lights last night across our area. If you didn't get a chance to see it, you'll get another chance tonight. This is a photo that was from Belle Rive in Illinois from Jake Owen, and look at the vibrant color in that photo. You see the purples and the reds and the greens. It's not quite as vibrant in person, but I will tell you, having seen it myself last night, I could definitely see it with my own eyes. And then when you look at the photos that you take with your camera, they turn out to be just incredible. It's an amazing thing. I hope you do get a chance to get outside tonight. Now, last night, we saw G4 conditions, so that is a severe geomagnetic storm. And tonight, it is predicted that we will once again have a G4 storm. So that means you have a chance at seeing something similar to what we saw last night. Now, let's talk about clouds. We're not really seeing any clouds tonight. That's great news. Temperatures now in the middle 50s. It's not nearly as windy as it was yesterday, so it's a lot more comfortable tonight. So we go through the night. We are going to see clouds increasing, especially towards morning, so the better viewing is going to be earlier in the evening. We're going to talk much more about all of this coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Carl. Well, a split second can make the difference between life and death for first responders who are working on the side of a road. That's why there is move-over laws. But too many drivers have been ignoring the law, putting lives at risk. Just this week, 2 emergency vehicles were hit, with one causing injury to a first responder. 44 News reporter Frank Spano speaks to Kentucky State Police, who's reminding all drivers to take roadside safety seriously.
The latest figures from the National Safety Council show that 198 people die each year in crashes with emergency vehicles.
Just this week, 2 different times cars have crashed into emergency vehicles that were stopped on the side of the road, sending one first responder to the hospital. So I talked with Trooper Corey King of the Kentucky State Police today about roadside safety and the move-over laws.
The law specifically says if you see an emergency vehicle, which it does include tow trucks, construction vehicles, anything with flashing lights, is to move over the farthest lane from that stopped vehicle. And if you cannot, if safety prevents you from not moving over, then slow way down.
Trooper King tells me first responder safety isn't an option, and if you fail to comply, there will be consequences.
Say, for example, you fail to move over, you struck our vehicle or somebody else that's on the side of the road. At that point, not only does it become a monetary fine, but at that point it can become a misdemeanor for that offense. Not to mention that, yes, there could be jail time.
King says if you remember these three main things, you're doing what's right.
Move over if all possible. If it's not safe, slow down and look straight ahead. Do those right things because it could cost you in the long run if you don't.
But it's not 100% about safety. King says if the vehicles are hit or destroyed, it takes that resource away from the officers.
If our emergency vehicle is struck and it's damaged, it's no longer usable to us.
And just because the responders are often seen on the side of the road working, it's not a comfort zone for them.
It is fast. The wind shear that comes off those vehicles is fast. It's extremely dangerous to us. Really, it's nerve-wracking.
And Kentucky State Police tell us that a failure to move over or slow down for emergency vehicles could result in a $500 fine and or jail time. For 44 News, I'm Frank Spano.
Thank you, Frank. Well, sadly, earlier today in northern Indiana, a Delaware County Sheriff's corporal was killed in a crash on Interstate 69. Corporal Blake Reynolds stopped to help a semi-truck driver as the semi was stopped partially in the roadway. While Reynolds was outside of his car, a northbound semi-truck driven by a 39-year-old man from New Haven, Indiana, lost control and hit the corporal's car and the other semi-truck.
That semi was partially in the roadway, so the deputy stopped behind it to provide some protection for that semi driver. While the deputy was outside the vehicle, another semi that was northbound on I-69 lost control and collided with both the deputy's vehicle and the disabled semi that was on the side of the road.
According to the family, Corporal Blake Reynolds got married back in June and was hoping to raise a family. As for the driver who caused the crash, the prosecutor's office would not comment on any possible criminal charges. That investigation is ongoing by Indiana State Police. Well, a shocking incident in Carmi. A school bus carrying students home from a volleyball game was stopped in the middle of the road. Now, authorities say the bus driver, 70-year-old Stephen Heath of Carmi, was charged with driving under the influence in Bond County. Carmi County Superintendent shared a statement with 44 News saying, in part, the Carmi-White County school system takes great care in all matters involving our students, staff, and community with care and diligence. The district is aware of the incident with the student fan bus Monday night and are investigating the matter. Heath was taken to the hospital for a chemical test. Those results are still pending. And tonight, we now know the name of the person who was shot and killed at an apartment complex. Jermaine Vaughns passed away at St. Vincent Hospital after officers found him shot several times at an apartment along Carriage Drive late Monday night. Authorities arrested Drayshawn Hogan following that shooting. Hogan will be in court this afternoon for his first probable cause hearing. In News Since 6, Vanderbilt County Coroner's Office needs your help in finding someone to claim a body. They say Jerry Hill was being housed at North Park Nursing Home. The office says Hill's legal address, though, was on Reed Street here in Evansville. Now, he was 64 years old. Any person who may be related to Hill or have knowledge about possible relatives should contact the coroner's office. Well, coming up here on 44 News tonight, we'll head down to Madisonville as the city park transforms into a winter wonderland. A sneak peek at what to expect at this year's Deck the Park.
Newly released emails from Jeffrey Epstein are renewing questions about his relationship with President Trump. I'm Brantley Blackburn with how the White House is responding and the push in the House for the DOJ to release all the Epstein files.
And taking a live look outside of 44 Sky Cam Network on a chilly, cool night across the tri-state. But as the week continues on, those daytime temperatures are going to heat up a little bit, making for a nice few days here. Those ones you should get out and enjoy. We'll check out your forecast is next.